expect cloudy skies in the nation's capital. Our high should reach around 45 degrees. Overnight low tonight 30. We've got mostly cloudy skies and we are
Back in one sec. Finish this up about making payments on the reverse and refinancing it.
3-day sale starting Friday at 8 a.m. Food Lion, how refreshing. I'm Angela Foster for News Talk 1450 a.m.
Right, here we come.
5.9 FM WOL, but information is power.
Praise the Lord, everybody. We are back for the last segment. Anthony Miles, your Christian reverse mortgage answer man. We dispel all the rumors. We tell you the truth about how the reverse works from a Christian perspective. I don't care if you do the reverse or not. That's not my goal. It's to properly inform and educate you to make sure you do not get scammed. The reverse is a blessing, but the lack of information purposefully misled and held back from the loan officer to give to you, purposely held from you, is the difference between night and day. And that's what makes it feel like it's a scam. When I get a phone call from somebody saying, I never knew that. I only found out about it because I heard your show or because I called you and you decided to tell me the truth. I wish my loan officer would have told me that. I either would have not have done the reverse or I would have treated it this way. I would have made payments. 1-800-952-PRAY. 1-800-952-7729. Anthony Miles, your Christian reverse mortgage answer man. Every Wednesday, 1450 WOL AM and simultaneously on 95.9 Magic FM. So if your AM doesn't come in and your FM doesn't, whatever, which vice versa, you can hear us on one of those. So we were talking about the contract of the reverse and how it works, why it sounds too good to be true. We now know that the bank is guaranteed to be paid by the federal government. We know that the federal government has this fund, which is called their FHA Mortgage Insurance Fund, that they're investing from day one in their money market mutual accounts, and they're letting that fund grow so that for some reason later down the road, if the house has a balance higher than what the house is worth, you don't have to pay anything because the federal government uses that gap FHA mortgage insurance money, like gap insurance on a car, and covers that negative gap. That's how they make that guarantee. If there is no gap, they keep that money, and that's how they make a profit. And that's why it was really created. It's another way for the government to make money, but it helps people out too, especially if you really know how it works. Making payments. I highly recommend that you do not think this is a reverse mortgage, but you instead treat it like a regular mortgage and make payments. Because the government wants you to make a payment. The bank doesn't want you to make a payment. The bank's not going to tell you. Why has your bank not told you, hey, you can make payments? Because if you make a payment, that means that's less money in the future, compounded interest, that they're going to receive. You better believe they don't want you to make a payment. Why has the bank not told you that you could refinance your reverse mortgage and lower your interest rate? Because that's less money they're guaranteed to receive in the future. Why did your loan officer never sit down and tell you that you could refinance your reverse mortgage? Because 99% of you don't know that you can, because they didn't care enough about you to spread that truthful information because they wanted to hoard you for themselves. So if they don't tell you you can refinance and somebody else is calling you on the phone saying, hey, you can refinance your reverse, you qualify for more equity, you don't know you can because that first person never told you you can, and you're too afraid to take a chance and try. So what happens? All that equity in your home is going to be given to the bank instead of you using it by refinancing. You want to refinance your reverse mortgage as many times as possible, okay? Does it hurt you to refinance your reverse mortgage? Absolutely not, especially if it's done at zero closing costs. A lot of people get charged tremendous amount of costs when they refinance their reverse, and they get lied to. People say, hey, there's no upfront fees, you know? And that might be true, but what about those back-end hidden fees they're not telling you about, like the title fees, like the government recordation charges, like the FHA mortgage insurance again when you refinance it? It costs money to do a reverse again. Unless you know where to look on those pages that you're signing with all that tiny little information on the 50th and 60th and 80th page, that little fine print that tells you what those closing costs are, you wouldn't be the wiser. When I come out to somebody's home and I bring a packet out, I point out everywhere on that page where you need to look in the future and make sure that I'm telling you the truth, whether it's zero closing costs or only $4,000 in closing costs. A lot of that depends on basically if you're in the reverse already or not. Because when you're in the reverse already, those closing costs should be a lot less. Especially if you live in DC, they should be absolutely zero. We get paid as a loan officer a good amount of money from the bank to do this. We can credit it back to you as a 100% legal broker credit to make those closing costs go down or make them absolutely zero. But it means me putting my wallet to the side and putting your wallet and your needs first and being honest with you and giving you that truthful information. Most loan officers decide not to do that. Or they'll tell you, hey, there's no cost, there's no upfront cost. You don't have to worry about coming out of pocket with anything. You need to ask the question, what about the back end cost? If you're working with somebody right now and you want to make sure you're getting the best deal and you want to make sure you're getting zero closing costs, then call me up. Not to have to go through me, but call me up and I'll dissect those pages with you and I'll tell you if that person is treating you correctly. And I'll arm you with what you need to call them back and say to make sure that you do get the best deal. You don't have to go through me. Would I love for you to go through me? Yes. Am I going to be tremendously blessed if you don't go through me? But I did you right by giving you truthful and honest information to help you out in doing the right thing for another fellow member of society, another fellow human being, another one of Christ's creations. You better absolutely believe yes. I will be. So it's okay if you don't go through me. I'd love for you to do it though, because then you know from start to finish you'll be okay. And if you're working with somebody and you're not happy, you can definitely transfer your application at any point in time, even if an appraisal was done. If you're afraid of losing that money for the appraisal, don't worry, I'll cover it. If you already came out of pocket with some money, don't worry about it. Okay, that's what I'm here for, is to help you out. I'll put that before the Lord. He's going to take care of me, so I don't worry about those expenses. What I do worry about is getting a phone call 5 years down the road from you who did not go through me that gives me a call and says, I really wish I would have went through you because I found out that my balance was going through the roof. I didn't know that I could have made a payment, because if I knew that, I would have made a payment. Making a payment on your reverse mortgage benefits you if you want to leave the home to somebody. But it also benefits you because every payment that you're made not only will reduce your mortgage amount, but it will also be matched by the bank and credited to what's called a line of credit, like a regular line of credit. If you've got a line of credit right now with Bank of America for $100,000 and you take 50 grand out, so you only have 50,000 left in that line of credit, whenever you make a payment on that line of credit, that amount that you used, a portion of it will go back over to that other line of credit column. So if you have a $50,000 balance on your line of credit and you owe $50,000 because you were given $100 first, and you make a payment of $400 on that $50,000, maybe $300 goes towards the interest and then $100 goes back up to your line of credit column. So now you have $50,100 available still to use. It's different in the reverse. You have matching dollar for dollar amount to use again. Same scenario. If you had a balance with a reverse mortgage of $50,000, okay, and you had a line of credit with that reverse mortgage of $50,000, if you make a $1,000 payment, okay, and of that $1,000 payment, $600 was interest. So $600 goes towards the interest, $400 goes to the principal. It's a set amount. That $1,000 though payment you made is also going to be credited to your line of credit. So now you got $51,000 in a line of credit available. After 1 year of making $1,000 payments, you have not only applied $12,000 towards your mortgage balance with the principal and interest, you have also had that same $12,000 credited to your line of credit available balance. So now you got $62,000 in there. No, I lied to you. You don't have 62. You got 64 or 63. Why do you have more? Because the bank's giving you interest on your line of credit. Yes, in a reverse mortgage, it is a mortgage that you control the payments that are made. and I recommend you make that payment, because if you make that payment, not only will you knock that balance down, but you will also guarantee that whatever payments you made is being matched by the bank and being put in this line of credit savings account that's going to collect interest in your favor. Why is the bank going to do that? Why would the bank match a payment and give it to your line of credit? They don't match the payment towards your balance. They match it and put it in your line of credit. Why? What would they get out of it? They get out of it this. They get out of it the fact that they believe that they're banking on, no pun intended, that you're going to use that money in the future. So if they gave you $1,000, they believe you're going to need it in the future. And if they give you interest on top of that, they believe you're going to use that interest also, because once you use it, who's guaranteeing them that they're going to be paid back? The federal government, not you. So after paying 50 grand down on your mortgage, and you got this huge line of credit of 50 grand plus interest, more like 65, 70,000, and you wind up using that 70, the bank's guaranteed to get it back by the federal government. That's why they do that matching amount. But it takes more explanation. That's why you need to call me. If you currently have a reverse mortgage, you need to refinance your reverse. And I've said this a million times. When equity is available in your reverse mortgage, if you choose not to at least reserve it, and I don't mean taking it out in the form of cash, I mean at least reserving it, acknowledging that it's there, then you hand deliver it to the bank. So if somebody's calling you saying you got 20 grand available to you and you say, I don't need it, you basically said to the bank, here, you can have it. Remember, the bank's charging interest every month. But when they charge interest, that comes out of the equity in your home. But if you've got 20 grand extra equity available to you because your home went up in value and you decide not to use it, they take it out of that equity first and foremost. Further explanation needed. 1-800-952-PRAY. 1-800-952-7729. Anthony Miles, your Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man. Tune in every Wednesday, 1450 WOLAM, 95.9 FM Magic. Hear me simultaneously on there. God bless you. Go out and make it a good one. Make sure you see my Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man Facebook page. Let people see Jesus in your eyes. Do something good for somebody. It's going to make you feel better and you're going to be blessed. God bless.